lub of man. It's the seed of man. And what is in the heart is the entire cosmos. Everything is in the heart. If you look at this world, if we see what they've done now is they've moved out. Now they've gotten to the biggest things that they can see in their Hubble telescope. And they've looked out and they keep seeing, it just goes on and on and on. They can't see the end. They can't see any limits to it, but they see that it's expanding. So they have an idea somehow that there are limits to the universe. And then at the same time, they're going the other way. They're going deep down. You can go one or the other way. Stephen Hawking said when he decided to study physics, he said there was two ways he could have gone. The macro or the micro. And he said that he chose the macro because at least they had gravity to kind of hold it all together. And the theory of relativity. Whereas he said the micro, there was nothing there to hold. They're all confused about what's really going on down there. So he said he decided to go the macro way. But the point is he could have gone one of two ways. Now the more they go either way, the more in awe of this thing they are. They get down to the neutrinos and the quarks and the quasars. They get down there, and where does it end? Where does it all end? But the amazing thing about it, even within their mathematical calculations, the largest objects they know in the macrocosm and the smallest objects they know in the microcosm, for some strange coincidence, man lies at the mathematical mean between the two. In other words, we literally lie. Our size lies as a mean between the subatomic and the macrocosmic world. We're right there in the middle. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He put us in the middle. He made us of middle stature. And He said about these heavenly signs, He said, لا أقسم بمواقع النجوم وإنه لقسم لو تعلمون عظيم إنه لقرآن كريم في كتاب مكنون لا يمسه إلا المطهرون. I swear by the vastness of the positions of the stars. And this is a great oath if you but knew. See, when we look out at the night sky, you see the seven sisters that are called Thuraya in Arabic. We call them Pleiades in astronomy. The seven sisters. The Native Americans also called them the seven sisters. There's 7 stars by the naked eye. You can only see 7. According now to modern astronomy, there's at least 80 stars in that constellation. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ saw 12. Because he had a vision that was more powerful. He had a vision that was more powerful than the average person. And so the Shifa Qadi Iyad records, long before telescopes were invented, that our Prophet ﷺ saw 12 stars in Pleiades. And there's 7 that are seen. And before that, only one other person was known to have said in Western history to have seen 9. But the Prophet ﷺ saw 12. There was a woman, the Arabs called her Yamamatu Zarqa, and she could see for 2 days. She could see for 2 days, like caravans, she would see them 2 days away. And the Arab, they didn't believe her. One day she told them there's an army coming, they said, Yamama. And that's why the Arab, they say, if you hear news from Yamama, believe it. Because whatever Yamama says is true. They say that, the Arabs, because they learned their lesson after they lost it. So the point is that the stars are this vast cosmic. We see Orion, and it looks like they're all together. If you actually measured them, one of the stars in Orion is 150 million light years away. Another one is 450 million light years away. In other words, these are mawaqi' an-nujum. And even though we see them every single night, they come up, they look the same, they are of mass, that the magnitudes of which we can't even comprehend. And that's what Allah is saying. But He's also saying another thing, that the positions of the stars are also the positions of the verses in the Quran. That's another meaning of Mawaqi' an-Nujum. In other words, when you look at the Quran, you see the Quran like people who have never looked at the night sky. They go and they look at the night sky. They don't see Orion. They don't see Taurus. They don't see Pleiades. They don't see Gemini. They don't see Canis Minor, Canis Major. They just see a jumble of lights up in the sky because they haven't spent time. They haven't gone every night and measured and looked at them and reflected on their patterns and watched how they come up and how they have this extraordinary discipline that will show itself to the one who is willing to put in the night time in understanding it. The Quran is the same way. The Quran doesn't, you look at it, the Orientals, they read it, they say, he was talking in the first person singular, and then he jumped to the third person plural, and then he went back to the first person, and then he went, what's going on here? To them, it's like those stars to that ignorant city slicker who goes out one night to a mountain and just looks up and says, that's amazing. He doesn't see any patterns. He just sees what's going on up there. I mean, some people don't even know that stars actually move across the sky. If you go out and look, you'll see them move. I mean, they say now the earth is moving and they're not really moving, but if you go out and watch them, they move. We don't move. That's how you experience it. But there's people who don't even know that. There's people who don't even know the sun actually rises in the east. I'm not making this up. There are people in this city that don't know the sun rises in the east and it sets in the west, and it does it remarkably every day. And you have 365 days in a year to actually see that experience at least once. And that's part of why you go out to pray Dhuhr. You're supposed to look at the sun. And you go out in Asr and you look at the sun. And part of the meaning of the shadow is that your life is like that shadow. Just as it waxed, it wanes, and then it disappears. The sun sets. And just like you had your youth, and then you reach your prime, and then the decline starts, and before you know it, it's Asr, and then it's Maghrib, and it's too late. You're saying, why didn't I realize this at Dhuhr time? Because you didn't have a sundial. You never realized the sun was moving across the sky. You never even realized that. أَوَلَمْ تَرَ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ كَيْفَ مَدَّ الظِّلِّ. Didn't they ever look at their Lord, how He moves the shadow? Didn't anybody ever look at that? That's in the Quran. It's a sign from Allah. وَلَوْ شَاءَ لَجَعَلُهُ سَاكِنًا. Had He wanted, He would have made it still. But He put it there as a sign for you to realize that like the sun, that's how you are. You're just like that. One day you'll decline too, and then you set. And you come back up in another place, not on this earth, because every day is a new day. كُلُّ يَوْمٍ هُوَ فِي شَأْنٍ. Every day is a new day. People say, I said to somebody yesterday, how you doing? He said, same old, same old. I said, that's a lie. That is a lie. Every cell in your body changed since the time you said to me, same old, same old. So how is it same old, same old? That's a lie. You think it's the same old, same old. It's not. And you've never been there and you've never done that. Seriously. But these are lies that this culture tells them to make them think that they just sit around and nothing ever changes. It's changing every single second, every moment. Things are changing. يَرْفَعُ بِهَا أَقْوَامًا وَيَضَعُ أَقْوَامًا. He's raising people up. He's abasing people. It's happening all over the planet right now. And one day it's going to happen. These people, they're up at the top, best economy ever in the history of America. We've got, people, everybody's working for McDonald's, but hey, they have health benefits, right? Because they're going to get sick eating McDonald's hamburgers, and they're going to need the health benefits. Seriously, that's why they need the health benefits, because the job